Welcome back. Mayor, I'd like to talk with you some more about how we will conduct a pedestrian summit. And by the way, this is a concept many people, if not most, have never heard of. They've heard of the bike summit, but talk a little bit about what the pedestrian summit is, why we're even doing the pedestrian summit.
Well, so many good things came out of the bicycle summit, and we have so many people that are walkers and joggers, but walkers most specifically. And as we try to be good stewards of the environment, gas prices go up, and we're trying to get more people to walk up to the corner store if they have the opportunity, or at least get out and meet some folks and go out and walk every day, 4 or 5 days a week. We began to think that based on what came from the bicycle summit, it would make sense to have one of the first pedestrian summits anywhere in the United States. And to think about our streets and to think about our lighting and to think about the kind of exercise as well as just the ability to get from point A to point B with safety in mind for those who want to get out and walk. And so as a result, we're going to have several workshops in April and then move right into the Pedestrian Summit in May. And my hope is that at the conclusion, they will create a group of 10 or 12 people, just like the summit did, the bicycle summit, and they'll stick together and they'll meet every couple of months and they'll go through all of the points that were brought up at the Pedestrian Summit that we want to implement over time, and they will watch and hold us accountable to work through those kinds of activities.
Now, I know the bicycle summit was very well attended. What kind of community participation are you hoping for?
Well, you know, it'd be great to have 100 people if we could get 100 people that would show up. I don't know what to expect. It could be 50, it could be 150. We certainly have a room large enough to take all the way up to the top number that we would expect or hope. We'll be at the Gaines location out at the Male High School location off Preston. But the bottom line is we're excited about it, and we think, there's nothing that's framing this issue in terms of pedestrian. It can mean whatever it can mean to any individual who wants to come and work with us. The framing will happen at the workshops in April, so that when we bring the group together in May, we'll be able to have, these are the topics, these are the workshops, these are the thoughts, what do you all think, and begin the back and forth.
I think one of the interesting points that's come up in the dialogue is that whereas the bicycle summit had a somewhat identifiable constituency, the pedestrian summit, everybody's a pedestrian at some point.
Yeah, and so you don't have the zealot organization. I don't want to say zealot because I'm a member. You don't have the organization, the enthusiastic organization like the Louisville Bicycle Club. You don't have the Louisville Pedestrian Club. Having said that, we have an awful lot of folks who walk, and both recreationally as well as just to be able to go up to the corner and pick up something. So it'll be interesting to see the numbers that show and those who really want to engage with us in terms of how we can make life easier for them and more how we can make our byways and highways more accessible to pedestrian access.
We were fortunate enough to receive a KIPTA grant that's allowed us to hire Tool Design. It's an award-winning pedestrian consulting firm out of Maryland, and walkability author and lecturer Mark Fenton, who will facilitate. What do you think this means in terms of the outcomes?
Well, you know, we could be all over the ballpark based on everybody's thinking, what is a pedestrian summit about? The fact that we've got such an outstanding individual and a great organization, paid for by our regional planning organization here in this community called KIPTA, the Kentuckiana Planning Area, gives us a chance to be able to feel confident that at the end of the day, we'll be focused, we'll be able to go through all the points that need to be reviewed, and then ultimately have our goals set out very clearly, and then we hope people will hold all of us accountable to then begin to implement that plan over time.
So the goal is to develop Louisville's first community walkability plan,
right?
Which is, again, something that may be foreign to many people who are watching the show. Well, first of all, if you'd like to speak a little bit about exactly what that's going to entail, and how, of course, will it be used?
Well, you know, it has to do with signage, it has to do with infrastructure like sidewalks, it has to do with walking paths off the road, it has to do with access. You know, the Louisville Loop is not just a bicycle loop. There will be, with 100 miles all the way around the community, there will be areas people can get on and walk. In fact, if you're so inclined, you can walk the whole 100 miles and take days and weeks and do it. But the idea, the hope is, the goal is to come out with something that is responsive to a couple of women or men who early in the morning join each other and go out and walk, all the way to those who really want to get into it as a major recreational aspect. there's speed walking, there's just meandering, sort of like when I was a runner and then I was a jogger and now I'm a loper. You now have these levels where people think of pedestrians and walking in a very different way than others. We want to have access for all people to have that chance, and hopefully we'll come out with it based on the really outstanding consultants we have that will lead us through this.
There's been so much research over the years that walking is a fantastic way to increase your physical activity and improve your overall health. You made a couple of references to people getting together. I would think there's also something about walking helps to build social capital.
Oh, there's no question. If people can feel comfortable, I mean, if nothing else than saying that here are the 413 locations where every morning, especially in the winter when it's dark, at 6 in the morning, if you show up, others will be there at that same corner, and you can walk together. Or in the evenings when you come home from work, you can meet at that corner and walk together. We've created an opportunity for safety, for a level of confidence, and that socialization to interact with your neighbors.
I've even heard of something called the walking school bus.
Yeah, that's literally where if you're living in an area where your kids are, especially elementary school kids, you have one parent who starts with a child, picks up another child, picks up another child, and they're all walking the sidewalk as they go to the school and ultimately are delivered safely, and then the reverse at the end of the day.
It's a great way to instill the physical activity,
right,
as well as the getting together and the safety of a group of kids walking together. And several parents will join along the way, as I understand it, so that you have this thing going on. How can someone register or get more information?
Well, you can always go to Louisville. You can go to louisvilleky.gov and click on, I think it's Louisville Ped. Am I right?
LouisvillePedSummit.com, I believe.
LouisvillePedSummit.com. One word, LouisvillePedSummit.com. And connect on. We'd love you to register, be a part of the workshops in April, and then be ready to roll into May for the ultimate summit.
Now, of course, there's always the standby 311.
You can always call 311, and we'll be more than happy to get you the appropriate information and sign you up accordingly.
Well, Mayor, I want to thank you very much for being a part of our discussion today.
Oh, it's great to be with you.
I want to thank you for being all that you are, being a leader, being a model for people to get involved in what we're trying to do with Mayor's Healthy Hometown Movement. And again, people need to focus on the Healthy Hometown Movement, the Pedestrian Summit that's coming up, or just go out and bike or run. And certainly they can get more information from 311 about where they can do that. We also want to thank you for being the spokesperson, if you will, and the model for Mayor's Healthy Hometown Movement. We do believe it can make a dramatic change in our community. If you want more information, we encourage you to go to www.louisvilleky.gov/healthyhometown. And again, for more information about the Pedestrian Summit, go to www.louisvillePedSummit.com. And we want you to do this, Mayor, because your health matters.
Metro TV, a public service of Louisville Metro Government.